The hand clamps over Leon Valenti's mouth before he can turn the doorknob. His instincts explode. Alpha reflex. Break the wrist, snap the arm, dominate the threat. His fingers curl into a weapon. The marble floor beneath his Italian leather shoes feels too solid for the way his world just tilted sideways. But the scent stops him cold. Beta, loyal, whisk. The housekeeper's breath ghosts against Leon's ear, urgent and terrified in a way Leon has never heard from the man who once stared down armed intruders without flinching. Be quiet. 2 words. They land like a knife between Leon's ribs. Because Leon Valenti, Alpha King of the Eastern Syndicates, man who built an empire on calculated brutality and surgical precision, never comes home early. His schedule runs like clockwork, predictable only to himself, deviated from never until tonight. And now someone inside that parlor, behind those heavy oak doors glowing with too much light, thinks he's still at the docks, thinks they're safe, thinks they have time. The laughter drifts through the wood, low, confident, male. Not Remy's nervous, gentle sound. Not his Omega husband's voice at all. Leon's vision narrows to a single point of white-hot fury. Someone is in his house, with his Omega, while his pups sleep upstairs. Have you ever discovered something that shattered everything you thought you knew? Share this story, because what Leon finds behind that door will change how you see loyalty forever. The storm rolled in without warning. Leon dismisses the driver 3 blocks early. Something presses against his instincts, a gnawing tension coiled behind his ribs like a fist tightening around his spine. He's learned not to ignore that feeling. It's kept him alive through 2 territory wars and a poisoning attempt that left 3 rival alphas in body bags instead of him. Rain needles against his shoulders as he crosses the circular driveway. His mansion rises before him, all marble columns and arched windows, a monument to what power looks like when you rip it from someone else's hands. Every stone was paid for in blood or threats. Every chandelier inside cost more than most people earn in a year. He built this, claimed it, defended it. The iron gate recognizes his fingerprint and swings open silently. Motion sensors track his approach. Security cameras blink their red eyes from the eaves. Everything functions exactly as it should. Except the house feels wrong. Leon pauses at the marble foyer, water dripping from his overcoat onto the imported tile. The grandfather clock in the East Hall ticks. The heating system hums. Outside, wind batters the windows, all normal sounds, but the lights. Every single fixture blazes. The crystal chandelier above the staircase. The wall sconces in the corridors. The recessed lighting that Remy usually dims by 7 because the pups sleep early. They're foster twins, barely 5 years old. Both soft-bellied Omegas who startle at shadows and cling to Leon's legs whenever thunder rolls. They need darkness to sleep, gentleness, quiet. Remy knows this. Remy is meticulous about this. Leon's jaw tightens. He shrugs off his coat, letting it fall across the entry table. His phone vibrates. Probably Marcus checking in from the doc meeting. He ignores it. The gnawing in his chest intensifies, spreading through his shoulders, tightening the muscles along his neck. Too bright, too warm, too busy. Movement flickers in his peripheral vision. He turns. Nothing. Just shadows dancing across the wallpaper, the kind that old houses make when wind hits the trees outside. But this house is only 7 years old. He had it built to his exact specifications. There are no old house sounds here, no settling beams, no creaking foundations. Everything is controlled. Except tonight. Leon moves toward the west wing, his footsteps silent on the Persian runner carpeting the hall. Years of moving through dangerous spaces taught him how to walk without sound. Heel-toe, weight distributed, breathing measured. Predator habits. The parlor doors loom ahead. Heavy oak. Hand-carved. Imported from somewhere Remy researched for 3 months because he wanted everything perfect for when Leon's associates visited. Remy, who worries about details, who arranges flowers and selects wine pairings and makes sure every guest feels valued. Remy, who should be upstairs reading to the pups right now. Instead, voices, muffled but distinct behind the wood. Leon's hearing sharpens the way it does before violence. Alpha senses kicking into combat mode. His heart rate slows, his pupils dilate. Every nerve ending fires alert signals. Male voices, plural. One he recognizes. No, 2 he recognizes. Deep. Alpha register. Foreign accents, Eastern European maybe, the kind that come from territories bordering his own. The kind attached to syndicates that smile during negotiations and plant bombs in your cars afterward. And beneath them, quieter, almost swallowed by the others. Remy. Leon's hand reaches for the doorknob. His fingers close around the brass, still warm from the heating system, smooth against his palm. One twist. That's all it would take. Kick the door open. Flood the room with alpha presence so overwhelming that whoever dared enter his home would piss themselves before they could form words. The image forms crystal clear in his mind. Remy pressed against the far wall, some other alpha's hand on his Omega's shoulder, territorial and possessive in a way that would require Leon to break every bone in that hand before moving on to the arm, the ribs, the face. The hand clamps over his mouth. Leon spins, instinct overriding thought. His elbow drives backward, aimed for ribs. His other hand reaches up to break the hold. Alpha strength floods his muscles. He could throw a grown man across this hallway without effort, but the scent registers first. Beta, calm, whisk. The housekeeper's grip tightens, not aggressive, desperate. His eyes are wide, not with fear, but with focus. The kind of focus Leon recognizes from soldiers who've seen combat, from men who know the difference between panic and survival. Whisk wears his white uniform, sleeves rolled to the elbows, a shock of steam-damp hair clinging to his forehead. He smells like kitchen herbs and laundry soap and something else. Adrenaline. Fresh. Sharp. "Be quiet," Whisk breathes against Leon's ear. The words slide in like a blade between ribs. Leon freezes. No one touches an alpha without permission, especially not him. Men have died for less. A beta restraining an alpha during territorial alarm violates every instinct hardwired into Leon's DNA. His body screams to throw Whisk off, assert dominance, punish the breach of hierarchy. But Whisk has served Leon's family since before Leon inherited the syndicate. The beta raised half the kitchen staff like pups. He knows every creaky stair and hidden panel in this mansion. Knows which associates prefer bourbon and which prefer blood. Knows when to appear and when to vanish. In 15 years, Whisk has never asked Leon for anything, never overstepped, never touched him, until now. Leon's analytical mind overrides his alpha fury. If Whisk is breaking protocol this severely, the threat level isn't what Leon initially calculated. This isn't simple betrayal. This is something worse. Something that requires silence. Whisk's hand slowly releases Leon's mouth. His gaze flicks toward the ornate hallway cameras, the ones connected to the security system. the ones that feed to monitors in Leon's office and the guard station. The ones that should show Leon still at the docks, not standing in his own hallway at 9:47 p.m. "Don't open that door," Whisk whispers. His voice shakes, not with fear, with restraint. Not yet. Leon's jaw tightens. Every muscle in his body coils. The alpha in him roars for violence, for answers, for blood. But the part that built an empire, the part that learned patience can be more lethal than rage, stays his hand. He nods once. Whisk exhales. Relief flickers across his face, brief and quickly masked. He gestures down the corridor with a subtle head tilt, the kind of signal used in combat. Silent communication. Urgent. "Not here," Whisk breathes. His eyes dart toward the cameras again. "They think you're still at the docks. They." Leon's heart slows, then sharpens. Someone inside that room believes he's miles away. Someone planned this for when he wouldn't be home. Someone inside his sanctuary thinks they have time. The laugh drifts through the oak doors again, arrogant, unhurried. Leon's vision goes white at the edges, but he follows Whisk down the corridor, into the shadows where the cameras can't see, where the marble gives way to service hallways and hidden passages, where secrets live in the architecture itself. Behind them, the parlor doors remain closed. Inside, his Omega's voice rises, uncertain, frightened. And Leon Valenti, Alpha King who built an empire on never showing mercy, learns what it means to be quiet when every instinct screams for blood. The service corridor smells like lemon polish and old wood. Whisk moves fast for someone who spends his days managing kitchens and staff schedules. His white uniform flashes in the dim emergency lighting as he navigates turns Leon barely remembers exist. This mansion has bones Leon never learned, passages built for servants to move unseen, for deliveries to arrive without disturbing the main floors, for secrets to travel unnoticed. They stop at a narrow door, half hidden behind a decorative panel. Whisk's hand hovers over the handle, hesitation flickering across his features for the first time. He glances at Leon. "What you're about to hear," Whisk says quietly, "isn't what you think." Leon's fingers curl into fists. "Explain. Now. Your Omega isn't alone." Whisk's throat bobs. "Two alphas. Foreign. I've seen them before. They've been coming for weeks, always when you're away." The words land like cold iron. Weeks. Leon's vision tunnels. His alpha instincts scream betrayal, infidelity, territorial violation. The urge to tear through that door and rip apart everything inside floods his nervous system with so much adrenaline, his hands shake. But Whisk catches his arm. "It's not an affair," the beta says sharply. "It's worse." Leon stares at him. "Worse than betrayal?" "Yes." Whisk's jaw tightens. "They're cornering him, threatening him. They brought contracts, legal documents." His voice drops. "They know about the pups." Everything clicks into place with sickening clarity. The strange calls Remy stopped mentioning. The hesitation in his Omega's eyes when Leon asked about his day. The way the twins have been startling at shadows lately, flinching at raised voices. The way Remy has been smaller, quieter, like he's trying not to take up space. Leon's fury transforms into something colder, more dangerous, retaliation. But Whisk's grip tightens. "If you storm in now, they'll use the pups against you. They want you to lose control. They're baiting you." Leon forces air through his teeth. "Then what?" Whisk pulls open the hidden door. "We listen, we let them talk. We get them to confess everything." He meets Leon's gaze. "We take them down clean. for the pup's sake. The beta's eyes hold something Leon rarely sees directed at him. Not fear, not submission. Determination, equal to equal, for one stolen moment in a servant's corridor. Leon nods. They slip inside. The passage is cramped, barely wide enough for Leon's shoulders. It runs parallel to the parlor wall, remnants of original construction before the mansion was renovated. Ventilation panels line the passage at chest height. The old kind, decorative brass grills meant to circulate air between rooms, perfect for eavesdropping. Whisk positions himself at one panel. Leon takes the other. Through the grill, the parlor materializes in fragmented glimpses. Remy sits in the wingback chair near the fireplace, spine rigid, hands clasped in his lap. His purple hair, the color that made Leon's breath catch the first time they met, falls across his face, hiding his expression. He wears soft clothes, the kind meant for evenings at home with family. Vulnerable, domestic, prey. Two alphas circle him like sharks. Leon recognizes them now. Viktor Markov and Anton Voloshin. Mid-level operators from the Ukrainian syndicate that's been pushing into Eastern territory for months. Aggressive, ambitious, the kind that smile while they sharpen knives. Viktor leans against the mantel, arms crossed. Tall, angular scar tissue running from his left ear to his collar. His suit costs more than most cars. He watches Remy the way predators watch injured animals. Anton stands by the window, blocking the exit. Shorter, broader, knuckles scarred from fights. He holds papers, official-looking, embossed with legal seals, contracts. "You're being dramatic," Viktor says in accented English. His tone drips false sympathy. "We're offering protection, security for your pups. Surely you want that." Remy's voice trembles. "My mate provides protection." "Your mate." Anton spits the word like poison. Is too busy building his empire to notice threats at home. He drops the papers on the side table. They land with a sharp smack. "We've been visiting for 3 weeks, Remy. Where is he?" Silence. Leon's hands clench so hard his knuckles crack. Viktor pushes off the mantel, moving closer to Remy. "Sign the guardianship papers. Transfer custody of the pups to someone who will actually prioritize their safety." His hand reaches out, fingers brushing Remy's shoulder. "Someone who appreciates what you need." Remy flinches. The touch lasts half a second. But Leon sees red. Whisk's hand shoots out, gripping Leon's wrist. The beta's fingers dig in hard enough to bruise. A beta restraining an alpha, breaking every rule of hierarchy. His eyes bore into Leon's, silent and desperate. "Not yet." Leon forces himself still. Viktor continues, voice dropping to false intimacy. "You're an Omega without proper protection. Your mate leaves you alone, leaves the pups vulnerable." He crouches, bringing himself eye level with Remy. "What happens if someone decides those sweet little ones would make good leverage?" "Don't!" Remy's voice breaks. "Please don't." Anton crosses the room, placing the papers directly in Remy's lap. "Sign. Transfer guardianship to Viktor. Temporary, just until your mate proves he can actually keep his family safe." He produces a pen, expensive and gleaming. "Or accidents happen. And pup accidents." He pauses, letting the implication hang. "Those hurt the most." Remy's hands shake as they hover over the papers. His shoulders curve inward. His breath comes too fast. "They're children," Remy whispers. "They're just children." Viktor smiles. "Exactly. So fragile. So easy to lose." Leon's vision goes white. His alpha instincts scream murder, rip through the wall, tear them apart, paint the parlor with their blood. His muscles coil, his canines ache. Every nerve ending fires with the need to protect, to dominate, to destroy. Whisk's grip turns painful. The beta leans close, voice barely audible. They're recording this. See Anton's jacket? Bulge at the chest. If you break in now, they'll edit the footage. Make it look like you attacked unprovoked. His whisper sharpens. They'll use it to prove you're unstable, dangerous to the pups. They'll take them legally. The words cut through Leon's rage like ice water. Not just a threat, a trap, meticulously planned, legally fortified. Designed to strip Leon of everything that matters while making him the villain in the process. Through the vent, Victor pulls out his phone. We're reasonable men. We'll give you 5 minutes to decide. He glances at his watch. Expensive, Swiss, the kind that costs more than trafficking operations. If you don't sign, we make a call. Someone visits the pups' school tomorrow, asks questions, comments on how unprotected they seem. Remy's head snaps up. No. Then sign. Anton holds out the pen. Remy stares at it, at the contract, at the threat, at the impossible choice. His hand reaches out, fingers trembling. Leon can't breathe. Whisk's grip tightens impossibly harder. Wait! The beta breathes. Listen! And Remy's voice, barely a whisper, breaks through the tension. I need to read it first. Stalling. Buying time. Victor's smile falters. Leon's analytical mind overrides his alpha fury. His Omega isn't surrendering. He's surviving. And suddenly, Leon understands. This isn't the first time Remy has faced this trap. This isn't the first time he's had to smile and nod and stall while predators circle. This is learned behavior, trauma response. The way Omegas raised in fear learn to protect themselves when alphas fail them. When Leon failed him. The realization hits harder than any physical blow. Whisk releases Leon's wrist slowly. His expression holds something between relief and warning. Now you understand, he murmurs. This isn't about romance. It's about power. And they're using your Omega as the access point. Through the vent, Remy's hands shake as he holds the papers. His voice steadies. Just slightly. Just enough. Why guardianship? Why not just talk to Leon directly? Anton laughs. Because your mate doesn't negotiate, he conquers. But an Omega with legal custody? He leans in. That's a weakness even kings can't fight. Victor nods. Sign, or your pups learn what real fear feels like. The pen hovers. Time crystallizes. And Leon Valenti, Alpha King who built an empire on calculated violence, learns the difference between power and control. One breaks doors, the other builds traps. He just has to decide which one saves his family. Leon's pulse hammers against his throat. Every instinct screams move, kick through the wall, flood the room with alpha dominance, make them choke on their own fear before they die. His muscles coil. His vision sharpens to predator clarity. The hidden passage suddenly feels too small, too confining, like a cage built specifically to hold him back while his family suffers. But Whisk's hand settles on his shoulder. Not restraining, grounding. 5 minutes, the beta whispers. Give me 5 minutes to explain the plan. Leon's jaw works. They threatened my pups. I know. They touched my Omega. I know. So why, Leon growls. Am I hiding in a goddamn wall? Whisk's eyes don't flinch. Because you're smart. Because charging in gets you arrested, not victorious. He gestures toward the vent. They want you violent. They need you violent. It's the only way their legal trap works. Through the grill, Remy turns another page of the contract, stalling. His hands still tremble, but his voice steadies. This clause here, about custody transfer, it says permanent transfer after 60 days. Victor waves dismissively. Formality. It says I relinquish all parental rights. Remy's voice sharpens. That's not temporary protection. Anton's smile thins. Raid faster. Remy doesn't. Leon's chest tightens with something between pride and heartbreak. His Omega is fighting, not with strength or dominance, but with the only weapon available. Time. Whisk pulls Leon back from the vent, deeper into the passage's shadows. I've been watching them for 2 weeks, he says quietly. Since the first visit. They don't just want territory, they want to destroy you specifically. His voice drops. They have lawyers, judges, media contacts. If you attack them here, in your home, they spin it as proof you're unstable. Dangerous. The courts take the pups for their safety. You lose everything. Then what do you suggest? Leon's words come out razored. I let them threaten my family? No. Whisk's expression hardens. You let them confess. Silence stretches between them. Understanding dawns slowly, like light bleeding through storm clouds. You're recording this, Leon says. I've been recording everything. Whisk pulls out a phone. Not his regular device, something older, a secondary unit. The screen shows audio wavelengths, red peaks and valleys tracking voices. Every visit, every threat, every admission. His finger taps the screen. But we need the big one. The confession that proves conspiracy, extortion, child endangerment. Leon stares at the wavelengths dancing across the screen. They won't confess to a crime. They already are. Whisk scrolls back through files. Listen. He taps play. Victor's voice. Sign the transfer or accidents happen. Another clip. Anton. Those pups would make excellent leverage. Another. Victor. We have judges bought, media ready to spin the story. Fragments, pieces, but not enough. We need them to admit the full plan, Whisk says. All of it, on record. Then you have legal ammunition, not just physical threats. He meets Leon's gaze. Then you destroy them the right way, the way that sticks. Leon's mind shifts into tactical mode, the same cold calculation he uses for territory negotiations and hostile takeovers. Not rage, strategy, the kind that ends with enemies buried so deep they never resurface. How? He asks. Whisk's mouth quirks. You walk in, calm, controlled. You force them to justify themselves. Predators love to explain how clever they are. His eyes glint, especially when they think they've already won. Through the vent, papers rustle. Remy's voice rises slightly. I won't sign anything that separates me from my children. Then you choose their suffering, Victor says coldly. Anton moves closer. One signature, that's all it takes to keep them safe. Or to lose them forever, Remy whispers. The pen falls from his fingers, clatters against the hardwood floor. Rolls, stops. Victor's expression darkens. Pick it up. No. The word hangs crystalline and defiant. Leon's heart stops. His Omega, gentle, soft-spoken Remy, who apologizes for taking up space, just refused 2 hostile alphas in his own home, chose resistance over compliance, chose risk over surrender, chose trust. Trust that Leon would come home. Trust that Leon would understand. Trust that somehow, some way, Leon would save them. The weight of that trust crashes through Leon like a physical blow. We need to move now, Leon says. Whisk nods. Not through the door. That's what they expect. He points down the passage. Service entrance. Leads directly into the parlor from behind the bookshelf. They won't see you coming until you're already inside. How long? 30 seconds. Less if you're fast. Leon's muscles coil. And if they touch him again before I get there, then you have assault on camera. Whisk's voice turns hard, and I help you hide the bodies. For the first time in 15 years of employment, Leon sees what he missed. Whisk isn't just a housekeeper. He's a soldier, has been all along. Why? Leon asks. Why risk this? Whisk's expression softens briefly. Because Remy taught my daughter how to read. Because your pups remind me of my own grandchildren. Because... He pauses. Some wars need to be fought quietly. But they still need to be fought. Through the vent, Victor's hand reaches toward Remy again. Time's up, Leon says. Whisk nods. Stay behind me until we're positioned. When I signal, you enter. Don't run, don't shout. Walk in like you own the room, because you do. His eyes lock onto Leon's. And remember, we're recording everything. Make them talk. Make them confess. Then you bury them. They move. The passage opens into a narrower corridor. This one descending slightly, following the original mansion foundations. Darkness swallows them except for emergency lighting every 10 feet. Their footsteps make no sound. Leon's breathing slows to combat rhythm. In for 4, out for 4, heart rate controlled. Whisk stops at a panel marked with faded service markings. Parlor access, staff only. Behind it, voices drift through wood and plaster. You're making a mistake, Victor says. The only mistake, Remy's voice shakes but holds, is thinking I'd betray my mate. A sharp crack, hand hitting wood. Your mate doesn't care enough to even be here. He's here. Silence. Then Anton's laugh, cruel and disbelieving. No, he's not. He's at the docks. We verified. You're wrong, Remy's voice strengthens. He always comes when I need him. Leon's throat tightens. Remy knows. Somehow, despite everything, his Omega knew Leon would come home. Whisk's hand hovers over the panel release. He glances back at Leon, eyebrows raised in silent question. Ready? Leon nods. The panel clicks, slides, opens into darkness behind the parlor's built-in bookshelf. Through the gaps between books, Leon sees them. Victor, hand raised mid-gesture. Anton, fingers wrapped around Remy's wrist. Remy, eyes closed, lips moving in what might be prayer or promise. And Leon Valenti, Alpha King who built an empire on never showing mercy, learns what silence costs, everything and nothing, because silence tonight is the weapon that will save them all. Whisk's hand drops in signal. Leon steps forward, into the light, into the trap, into the war he should have been fighting all along. Anton's fingers dig into Remy's wrist hard enough to bruise. Leon sees it through the bookshelf gaps, the way Remy's skin whites under pressure, the way his Omega's breath hitches, the way his purple hair falls forward as he tries to pull away. Let go, Remy says quietly. Anton's grip tightens. Sign first. I said no. Victor circles behind Remy's chair. His hand settles on the backrest, not touching, but close enough. Possessive, territorial. The gesture makes Leon's vision blur red at the edges. You're being unreasonable, Victor says. His voice drips false patience, the kind bosses use before they hurt people. We're offering protection, safety, everything an Omega needs. I don't need your protection. Remy's voice shakes but doesn't break. I have a mate. A mate who abandons you. Anton jerks Remy's wrist, pulling him forward. The contract slides across the table. A mate who can't even bother to come home at night. Remy's free hand curls into a fist. He's building something. For us. For the pups. He's building an empire. Victor leans down, mouth close to Remy's ear. Leon sees his Omega shudder. And empires need sacrifices. Guess who's expendable? The words hit like bullets. Because Victor isn't wrong, not entirely. Leon has been absent. Has prioritized territory expansion over family dinners. Has missed bedtime stories and weekend mornings and the small moments that build trust. Has failed to see the threats growing inside his own home. Whisk's hand touches Leon's shoulder. Gentle, grounding. Wait. Through the bookshelf, the scene escalates. Anton forces Remy's hand flat against the table, fingers splayed over the contract signature line. One name. That's all it takes. I won't betray him. Remy's voice cracks. I won't give you my pups. They're not your pups. Victor's hand slides down the chair back, fingers trailing across Remy's shoulder. They're foster placement. Temporary. The courts assigned them to Leon's care. If he's deemed unfit, his smile sharpens. Well, custody transfers to someone more suitable. Remy goes completely still. Unfit. He's the best father they could have. Is he? Anton produces photos, surveillance shots. Leon recognizes them. Himself leaving the house at dawn, returning after midnight, surrounded by armed guards. A mob boss who deals in violence and crime? Who keeps weapons in a house with children? He spreads the photos like cards. What judge would approve that? He protects them. But Remy's voice wavers. He'd never hurt them. Intention doesn't matter. Victor picks up the contract, holding it in front of Remy's face. Evidence matters, and we have so much evidence of an unstable alpha who prioritizes violence over family. His finger traces the signature line. Unless someone intervenes, someone stable, someone caring. You don't care about them. Remy's hands shake. This isn't about protection. No. Anton's smile turns razor sharp. It's about territory. Your mate controls the eastern docks, the shipping routes, the distribution networks. He leans closer. Lose his family, he loses focus, makes mistakes, becomes vulnerable. His fingers tighten on Remy's wrist, and we step in to fill the void. There it is, the confession. Leon's eyes flick to Whisk. The beta holds up his phone, screen showing the audio recording app, red wavelengths spiking with every word. Got it. But they need more. Names, networks, the full conspiracy. Remy seems to understand this too. His voice steadies, sharpening with something close to anger. So you're using children as weapons? We're using leverage. Victor shrugs. Your mate uses the same tactics. We just found his weakness. His hand moves to Remy's hair, fingers tangling. Pretty little Omega, sweet little pups, so soft. So fragile. Remy flinches away. Don't touch me. Why not? Victor's voice drops, dangerous and intimate. When your mate finally falls, you'll need someone. Might as well start building connections now. The implication lands like acid. Leon's restraint fractures. His hand moves toward the panel release. Whisk's grip clamps down. Not yet. His eyes bore into Leon's, desperate. They haven't admitted to the other conspirators. We need names. Through the bookshelf, Anton pulls out a second document. This one's insurance, in case you're still confused about what happens if you refuse. He unfolds it slowly. Blueprints, school layouts, security gaps. His finger traces lines. Your pups attend Meadowbrook Academy. 8 security cameras, 4 blind spots. Morning drop-off happens at 7:45, afternoon pickup at 3:15. He looks up. So many opportunities for things to go wrong. Remy's face drains of color. You wouldn't. We wouldn't. Victor's hand leaves Remy's hair, moving to his throat. Not choking, just resting. Ownership. But our associates might. See, we told them about these adorable little Omegas, 5 years old, so trusting, so sweet. His fingers press lightly. They're very interested. Trafficking implications, child endangerment, multiple conspirators. Whisk nods sharply. Now we have enough. But Remy speaks first, voice breaking raw. Why are you doing this? Because your mate killed our alpha. Anton's expression hardens. 6 months ago, territory dispute. Leon Valenti put 3 bullets in Dmitry Volkov and walked away clean. His hand releases Remy's wrist, moving to his own jacket. Leon tenses. Weapon? But Anton just pulls out another photo. My cousin, Victor's brother, dead because your mate wanted a shipping route. Grief flickers across both their faces, real, painful, and suddenly the picture complicates. So this is revenge, Remy whispers. This is justice. Victor's hand drops from Remy's throat. Your mate takes everything, family, territory, lives. His voice turns cold. Now we take his. Remy's breath comes ragged. Those pups didn't kill anyone. They're innocent. So was Dmitry's daughter. Anton's jaw tightens. 8 years old. Watched her father die. You think she's sleeping well? The room falls silent. Complicated, messy, the kind of tangled violence that defines Leon's world, where every action ripples into suffering, where justice and revenge blur until they're indistinguishable. But then come for me. Remy's voice cuts through the silence like a blade. I'm Leon's weakness, not the pups. Me. His hands flatten on the table, steadying. Leave them alone. Take me instead. Leon's heart stops. No. Anton and Victor exchange glances. Tempting, Victor says slowly. But leverage works better when there are multiple pressure points. His hand returns to Remy's shoulder. We take you and the pups. Maximum impact. Over my dead body. Remy's voice turns steel. You'll have to kill me first. That, Anton smiles, can be arranged. The pen appears again. Clicks. Last chance, Omega. Sign the papers. Transfer guardianship. Walk away intact. Victor leans close. Or we make you watch what happens to those sweet little pups before we end you. Remy stares at the contract, at the pen, at the choice that isn't really a choice at all. His hand reaches out, trembling, fingers wrapping around the pen. Anton guides his hand toward the signature line. There we go, see? Easy. The pen tip touches paper, hovers, and Remy whispers. So quiet, Leon almost misses it. I'm sorry, Leon. I tried. The words shatter something in Leon's chest. Because Remy thinks he's alone, thinks Leon won't come, thinks this is the end. Whisk's hand releases Leon's shoulder. The beta steps back. Silent permission. Leon's hand finds the panel release. 1 breath. 2. Then, he moves. The bookshelf panel slides open without sound. Leon steps into the parlor like a shadow manifesting. No rush, no announcement. Just presence condensing from darkness into physical form. His footsteps make no noise on the hardwood. His scent floods the room slowly. Deliberately. Alpha. Dominant. Home. Victor senses it first. His head snaps up, hand instinctively moving toward his jacket. His expression cycles through confusion, recognition, fear, all in the span of a heartbeat. Anton freezes, fingers still wrapped around Remy's hand. Remy's eyes widen. "Leon, don't move." Leon's voice comes soft, conversational, the kind of quiet that precedes hurricanes. "Nobody moves." Whisk emerges behind him, phone held high. The recording light blinks red, steady and damning. His other hand rests inside his jacket, the universal signal for "I'm armed and ready." Victor recovers first, stepping back from Remy's chair. His hand drops from his jacket. "Leon, we were just threatening my family." Leon crosses the room slowly, each step measured. Discussing kidnapping, trafficking, child endangerment. He stops at the parlor's center, equidistant from all three men. "And conspiracy to commit extortion." Anton's face pales. "You weren't supposed to be home?" Leon's smile doesn't reach his eyes. "I know. You verified I was at the docks, checked my schedule, planned this whole performance for when I'd be miles away." He glances at Whisk. "Except my housekeeper is smarter than both of you combined." Whisk inclines his head slightly. "I installed updated security 3 weeks ago, after the first uninvited visit." His phone screen displays multiple audio files, timestamps glowing. Every conversation, every threat, every admission of conspiracy. His finger hovers over a button, all backed up to 3 separate servers, including one that automatically sends to law enforcement if I don't check in every 6 hours. Victor's jaw tightens. "You can't prove anything?" Leon finishes. He reaches into his jacket, slow, deliberate, making sure they see he's not pulling a weapon. "Just a small recording device." He sets it on the table next to the contract. "We have you threatening children, admitting to conspiracy, detailing school surveillance." His eyes lock onto Victor. "And confessing to revenge, plotting for Dmitry Volkov's death." The name lands heavy. Anton's hands curl into fists. "You murdered our family." "I killed an enemy combatant during a territory war." Leon's voice doesn't rise. "Self-defense, documented, legal." He gestures at the contract. "What you're doing, terrorizing an Omega, targeting children, conspiracy to kidnap." His smile sharpens. "That's not justice. That's just crime." Remy remains frozen in his chair, pen still touching paper. His eyes dart between Leon and the 2 intruders, understanding dawning slowly. "This was a trap," Victor says quietly. "No." Leon's expression hardens. "This was your plan. I just recorded it." He nods toward the door, where 2 security guards now stand, silent and professional. Not aggressive, just present. "And now you're going to explain everything. On camera. For law enforcement." "We're not saying anything without lawyers," Anton snaps. "That's fine." Whisk taps his phone. "We already have enough for arrests. Child endangerment charges, attempted kidnapping, extortion, conspiracy." His eyes glint. "But if you cooperate now, maybe the DA goes easier. Maybe you see daylight before you're 70. Silence stretches. Victor's hand moves toward his pocket. "Don't." Leon's voice cuts like wire. "Whatever you're reaching for, it's not worth what happens next." Victor freezes. Slowly, carefully, he pulls out his hand, empty except for his phone. "Calling our attorney." "Go ahead." Leon gestures permission. "They'll meet you at the precinct." The security guards step forward, not threatening, just ready. Anton looks at Remy, still seated, still holding the pen, still processing. "You planned this. You and your alpha. Played us." "No." Remy's voice shakes. "I didn't know Leon was here. I didn't know about the recording." His eyes lift to Leon's. "I was just trying to protect them, the pups. I was trying to..." His voice breaks. I almost signed. But you didn't. Leon moves to Remy's chair, kneeling slowly. Eye level. You bought time. You asked questions. You made them confess. His hand covers Remy's. You fought back the only way you could. Tears gather in Remy's eyes. I was so scared. I know. Leon's throat tightens. And I'm sorry I didn't see this sooner. Victor makes a sound between a laugh and a snarl. Touching. Really? His eyes burn with hatred. But this isn't over. We're not the only ones who want you dead, Valenti. Our organization is about to have bigger problems than me. Whisk holds up his phone again. See, while you were busy threatening Omegas, I sent your full confession to 3 different agencies, FBI, State Police, and Interpol, because you mentioned international trafficking connections. He smiles. They're very interested in your organization now. Victor's face drains of color. Anton lunges. The security guard moves faster. Professional. Controlled. Anton hits the floor, arm twisted behind his back, no excessive force, just restraint. Resisting will make this worse, the guard says calmly. Victor raises his hands slowly. This is police brutality. This is a citizen's arrest for attempted kidnapping witnessed by multiple parties. Whisk pockets his phone. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. Sirens wail in the distance, growing closer. Leon helps Remy stand. His Omega's legs shake. The contract falls from his lap, forgotten. Leon catches it, tears it in half, lets the pieces fall. It's over, he says quietly. Remy collapses against his chest. The pups, are they safe? Asleep upstairs, guarded. Leon's arms wrap around him. I checked before coming down. They're safe. The sirens crescendo. Red and blue lights flash through the parlor windows. Whisk opens the front door, admitting 4 police officers. He hands over his phone, the recording device, everything documented and organized, professional, prepared. These 2 men attempted extortion and made credible threats against minors, Whisk explains. All conversations are recorded. Additional evidence is in my phone. The officers take Victor and Anton into custody. Miranda rights, professional protocol, no drama. Just law enforcement doing what Leon's world so rarely sees. Justice that doesn't require bullets. When the house finally quiets, Leon finds Whisk in the hallway. Why? Leon asks again. Why risk everything? Whisk meets his gaze steadily. Because Remy taught my daughter how to read when she was struggling. Spent hours with her. Wouldn't take payment. His voice softens. Because those pups deserve safety. Because, he pauses, because some wars are worth fighting, even if you're just a beta with a phone and too much stubbornness. Leon extends his hand. Whisk takes it. Not employer and employee, not alpha and beta, equals. Thank you, Leon says, for saving my family. Thank you for trusting me enough to wait. Whisk releases his hand. That took more strength than violence would have. Leon nods slowly. Upstairs, a small voice calls, Papa? Remy pulls away from Leon. The pups heard the sirens. They climb the stairs together, Alpha and Omega, mates who almost lost everything, heading toward the nursery where 2 5-year-olds wait with wide eyes and clutched stuffed animals. Behind them, Whisk begins cleaning up the parlor, erasing evidence of the night's violence, restoring order. And in the quiet that follows chaos, a single truth remains. Sometimes the loudest victories are won in silence. The pup's bedroom glows with nightlight constellations. Leon pauses at the doorway, taking in the scene. 2 small bodies huddled together in the left bed, Stuffed wolves clutched tight. Their purple hair, inherited traits from Remy's genetics, fans across shared pillows. Identical faces, soft with the kind of innocence Leon's world doesn't deserve to touch. But it did touch them, almost destroyed them. The smaller one, Sage, stirs first, eyes opening, reflecting nightlight stars. "Papa Leon?" "I'm here." Leon keeps his voice gentle, lowering his alpha presence to almost nothing. Pups can sense dominance like adults sense danger. It frightens them. "Everything's okay." There were loud noises. The second pup, River, sits up slowly. Stuffed wolf pressed to chest. And lights. Red and blue lights. Remy moves past Leon, crossing to the bed. He sits on the edge, hands smoothing through their hair with practiced tenderness. Just some people who needed help finding their way home. The police came to help them. "Bad people." Sage's voice trembles. Leon kneels beside the bed, bringing himself below their eye level. Submissive posture. Safe. "People who made bad choices," he says carefully. "But they're gone now. You're safe." River's eyes, too old for a 5-year-old, the kind of awareness that comes from trauma before adoption, study Leon's face. "You promise." The word hits harder than any bullet, because Leon knows what promises mean to children who've had them broken. River and Sage came from a system that failed them repeatedly. Foster homes that didn't work. Adults who lied. Safety that evaporated without warning. They've learned not to trust promises, but they're asking anyway. Hoping anyway. "I promise." Leon extends his hand, pinky out. And when alphas make pinky promises to their pups, it's unbreakable, stronger than any contract. River stares at the offered hand, then slowly links pinkies with Leon. "Unbreakable?" "Unbreakable." Sage joins, smaller pinky wrapping around both of theirs. "We're really safe." "You're really safe." Remy's voice cracks slightly. He pulls both pups into his lap, tucking them against his chest. "Papa Leon and I will always protect you. Always." The word hangs in the air. Always. And Leon knows how heavy it is. How easily it breaks. How many times these pups have heard it before, only to watch it shatter. But River relaxes incrementally. "Can we sleep in the big bed tonight? With you and Papa?" Remy looks at Leon, question and hope mixing in his eyes. Leon nods. "For as long as you need." They migrate to the master bedroom, a procession of stuffed animals and blankets, small feet padding across hardwood, whispered conversations about whether the red lights are really gone. The bed is massive, designed for an alpha's size, but it suddenly feels perfectly sized when two pups burrow into the center. Remy slides in beside them, creating a protective barrier with his body. Leon takes the outer edge, creating a fortress. Thunder rolls outside, the storm that started everything finally breaking overhead. Rain hammers against windows, lightning flashes, Sage flinches. Leon's hand finds the small shoulder. "Just noise. Can't hurt you." "Storms are scary," Sage whispers. "They are," Leon agrees. "But they end. And morning always comes after." River's hand creeps across the blanket, finding Leon's wrist, holding on. "You won't leave while we sleep?" "I'll be right here. Promise." "Promise." The pups settle slowly, breathing evening out, tension melting from small shoulders. Eventually, soft snores fill the darkness. Remy's hand finds Leon's across the sleeping children. They don't speak. Words would shatter the fragile peace. But Remy's thumb traces circles against Leon's palm, a silent conversation. "Thank you. I'm sorry." I was so scared. I love you. We survived. Leon squeezes back. I know, me too. I should have seen it. I love you. We're not done yet. Because they aren't. Victor and Anton are in custody. But conspiracy doesn't exist in a vacuum. There are others. Higher-level operatives. Someone inside Leon's organization who leaked information about schedules, vulnerabilities, the pups. Someone close enough to know Remy's routines. Close enough to betray them. Leon's mind catalogued suspects. Council members who had access. Guards who worked the estate. Associates who attended family dinners. The list is shorter than it should be, which makes the betrayal cut deeper. Someone he trusted. Someone he might even consider a friend. His jaw tightens. Remy's hand squeezes tighter. A warning. Not now. Not here. Leon exhales slowly. Tomorrow. Tomorrow he'll hunt down the leak. Tomorrow he'll restructure security, eliminate vulnerabilities, ensure this never happens again. Tomorrow he'll be the alpha king who built an empire through calculated violence. But tonight? Tonight he's just a father lying beside his pups, listening to them breathe, counting heartbeats like prayers. Rain continues its assault on the windows. Thunder growls. Lightning paints the ceiling with momentary brightness. And slowly, incrementally, the storm begins to fade. Morning comes gray and rain-soaked. Leon wakes to find all three of his family members still asleep. Remy curled around the pups, protective even in unconsciousness. Sage's foot presses against Leon's ribs. River's hand fists in his shirt, evidence of trust. He extracts himself carefully, muscle by muscle, replacing his warmth with pillows. None of them stir. Exhaustion has them deep. Downstairs, Whisk already has coffee brewing. The housekeeper looks different in morning light. Less servant, more soldier. His uniform is crisp, movements efficient, but his eyes hold the alertness of someone who didn't sleep. Status? Leon asks quietly. Whisk pours 2 cups. Victor and Anton were processed at 3 a.m., held without bail pending arraignment. FBI took over the case at 4:30. International trafficking connections triggered federal jurisdiction. He slides a tablet across the counter. Their phones had everything. Contact lists, payment records, communication logs with their organization. Leon scrolls through the data. Names leap out. Mid-level operatives, corrupt officials, money laundering channels. A full network, meticulously documented. They kept records of their own crimes, Leon mutters. Arrogance. Whisk sips coffee. They thought they were untouchable, that you'd react with violence, giving them legal ammunition. His expression hardens. They didn't account for patience. Leon continues scrolling, then stops. One name on the contact list. Marcus K. Inside source. Marcus Kingston. Leon's head of security for 6 years. The man who coordinates all protection details. Who knows every schedule, every vulnerability, every family routine. Marcus, who Leon trusted with his life. The betrayal lands cold and sharp. You saw it, Whisk says quietly. Not a question. How long have you known? 2 weeks, since the second visit. Whisk pulls up another file. Surveillance footage showing Marcus meeting with Anton in a parking garage. Money exchanging hands. I wasn't sure if you'd want proof or just action. Leon stares at the footage. Marcus laughing. Marcus accepting blood money for information that could have gotten the pups killed. Where is he now? Guard station. I scheduled him for early shift. Whisk meets Leon's gaze. What do you want to do? The old Leon, the one from 3 weeks ago, would have already painted the walls red. Would have made Marcus regret breathing. Would have sent a message so brutal that betrayal became unthinkable. But, call the FBI, Leon says slowly. Give them everything on Marcus. Let them arrest him properly. He sets down the tablet. No blood, no violence, just consequences. Whisk blinks. You're sure? The pups will ask questions. They'll notice Marcus is gone. Leon's voice steadies. I want to be able to tell them the truth, that bad choices have legal consequences, that justice doesn't require brutality. He pauses. I want them to see a different way. Something shifts in Whisk's expression. Respect, maybe, or surprise. The Alpha King is changing his methods, the Beta says softly. The Alpha King is trying not to traumatize his children. Leon drains his coffee. There's a difference. Whisk nods, pulls out his phone, makes the call. Within an hour, federal agents arrive. Professional, quiet, they take Marcus from the guard station in handcuffs. No scene, no drama. Marcus sees Leon watching from the window. Their eyes meet. Marcus's face cycles through emotions, shame, anger, resignation. He opens his mouth, maybe to explain, maybe to apologize. Leon turns away. Some betrayals don't deserve words. By noon, the house feels different. Lighter, safer. The rain has stopped. Clouds break apart, revealing patches of blue. Remy appears in the kitchen doorway, pups flanking him like small sentries. Is it over? The immediate threat, yes. Leon crosses to them. The investigation will continue, but Victor, Anton, and Marcus are all in custody. The FBI has their entire network. Sage tugs Leon's hand. Marcus was bad too? Marcus made very bad choices. Will he go to jail? River asks. Yes. Good. River's voice holds surprising firmness. Bad people should have consequences. Out of the mouths of children. Leon kneels. They should, and they will. I promise. Both pups study him. Then, seemingly satisfied, they wander toward the playroom. Remy stays behind. His hands twist together. I need to tell you something. Leon's chest tightens. What? I knew something was wrong. For weeks. Remy's voice shakes. I knew someone was leaking information. I knew we were being watched. His eyes fill. But I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd think I was being paranoid. Afraid you'd think I was weak. Afraid. His breath hitches. Afraid you'd regret bonding with an Omega who brings problems. The admission shatters something in Leon. Remy. I almost lost our pups because I was too scared to speak. Tears spill over. What kind of parent does that make me? Leon pulls him close. The kind who survived trauma and learned to hide first. The kind who's been taught that asking for help means burdening others. His hand cups Remy's face. But you're not a burden. You never were. And I'm angry. Remy flinches. At the world that taught you to think you were. Remy's fingers clutch Leon's shirt. I'm sorry. I know. So am I. Leon presses their foreheads together. Next time we face it together. No hiding, no fear, just us. Together. Remy whispers. Together. Outside, sunlight breaks through completely. The storm has finally passed. The afternoon unfolds quietly. Leon spends it doing something he hasn't done in months. Nothing. No meetings, no territory negotiations, no calls from associates demanding his attention. Just sitting in the playroom while Sage and River build elaborate block towers and knock them down with gleeful destruction. Remy reads on the couch, stealing glances at Leon every few minutes, checking. Reassuring himself that Leon is real, present, staying. Thunder rumbles distantly, aftershocks from the morning storm. Sage freezes mid-block placement. It's coming back. Just the tail end, Leon says gently. Passing through, River sets down a wooden car. What if it gets worse? Then we'll wait it out together. Leon gestures to the window. See the trees? They're barely moving. Storm's almost done. But both pups have gone tense. Trauma response. Their bodies remembering other storms, other fears, other times when adults said it's fine right before everything fell apart. Leon recognizes it instantly. Come here, he says. They hesitate. Please. Sage moves first, cautious steps bringing them to Leon's side. River follows, slower, more uncertain. Leon opens his arms. May I hold you? Asking permission, respecting autonomy. The things he learned from parenting books Remy left strategically around the house. Both pups nod. He gathers them carefully, one on each knee, solid weight and warmth. His arms wrap around them, protective but not restrictive. You know what I do when I'm scared? He murmurs. You're never scared, River says. You're an alpha. Alphas get scared too. We just hide it better. Leon's voice softens. But when I'm scared, I count things. Grounding things. Solid things. His hand touches Sage's shoulder. 1. I have 2 pups who are brave enough to tell me when they're frightened. His other hand touches River's. 2. I have a mate who fought off bad people with nothing but words and time. He gestures toward the window. 3. I have a house with strong walls and locks that work. 4. I have people who care about this family. 5. He pauses. I have a housekeeper who's secretly a superhero. Both pups giggle wetly. Whisk isn't a superhero, Sage protests. Isn't he? He saved us with a phone and perfect timing. Leon smiles. That's pretty heroic. Thunder rolls again, closer, both pups tense. 6. Leon continues firmly. I have arms strong enough to hold you until any storm passes. 7. You have each other. 8. Storms always end. Always. 9. He pulls them closer. Tomorrow there will be sunshine and we can go to the park. 10. His voice drops. Nobody takes my family, not while I breathe. The words settle over them like a blanket. Sage relaxes first, head resting against Leon's chest. Nobody? Nobody. What if they're really big and scary? Then I'll be bigger and scarier. What if there are lots of them? Then I'll call for help. Whisk, your Papa Remy, my associates, the police. I'll call everyone. Leon's hand smooths through purple hair. Being strong doesn't mean fighting alone. It means knowing when to ask for backup. River's fingers twist in Leon's shirt. You promise you won't leave us? The question cuts deep, because these pups have been left before. Abandoned by birth parents, cycled through foster care, promised forever by people who changed their minds. I promise, Leon says steadily, and I'll keep promising every day until you believe it all the way down to your bones. How long will that take? Sage asks. However long it needs to. Another rumble. Distant now. Fading. River's breathing evens. Can we stay like this for a while? As long as you want, they settle into stillness. 2 pups, 1 alpha, holding each other while the world shakes and steadies. Remy sets aside his book, moving to sit beside them. His hand rests on Leon's shoulder. Silent support. Shared parenting. The weight of love that doesn't need words. Outside, the thunder fades completely. Clouds scatter. A rainbow arcs across the sky, faint but visible through the playroom window. Look, Remy whispers. A promise from the universe. Both pups crane to see. It's pretty, Sage breathes. It's science, River corrects. Light refraction through water droplets. It's both, Leon says. Pretty science. They watch together until the rainbow fades, until the sun breaks through completely, until the fear in small bodies finally melts into the warmth of safety. And when Sage falls asleep against Leon's chest, breath slow and even, it feels like victory. Not the kind won with bullets, the kind won with presence. Evening comes soft and golden. After dinner, Whisk's specialty, comfort food that tastes like home. Leon finds the housekeeper in his quarters. A small apartment attached to the mansion, modest and meticulously organized. Whisk startles when Leon knocks. Is something wrong? No, I came to thank you. Leon steps inside. Properly. The apartment reveals more than Leon expected. Photos on the walls showing a younger Whisk in military uniform, medals displayed in a shadow box, books on strategy and surveillance stacked beside the bed. You never mentioned you served, Leon says. You never asked. Whisk gestures to a chair. Military intelligence, 15 years, retired after an injury that wasn't visible but wouldn't heal. He taps his temple. Some wounds are louder in silence. Leon understands that language. PTSD, trauma, the kind of damage that looks like normalcy until it doesn't. Why housekeeping? Because cooking and cleaning are concrete. Results you can see. Control you can maintain. Whisk's expression softens. And because your Omega needed someone who understood fear, who wouldn't judge the hiding. The pieces connect. Whisk wasn't just protecting the family. He was protecting someone who reminded him of himself. You saved us, Leon says quietly. Saved me from making the kind of mistake that destroys everything. You saved yourself. I just gave you time to think. Whisk meets his gaze. That's all anyone really needs. Time and information. A sealed envelope sits on the side table, cream-colored, unmarked. Leon's instincts prickle. What's that? Whisk's jaw tightens. It appeared this morning, under my door. He hands it over. I haven't opened it. Thought you should see it first. Leon breaks the seal. Inside, a single card, embossed lettering. Victor and Anton were the distraction. The real threat is closer than you think. Watch your counsel. A friend. The temperature drops. Someone else knows, Leon says. Someone else is helping, Whisk corrects. Question is, why? Night settles heavy. The pups sleep peacefully in their own beds. Progress, healing, trust rebuilt one nightmare at a time. Leon stands in the master bedroom, staring at the mysterious card. Watch your counsel. Someone inside his inner circle. Someone higher than Marcus. Someone who knows about Victor and Anton's arrest and is offering intelligence. An ally? Or another trap? Remy emerges from the bathroom, hair damp from the shower. He stops when he sees Leon's expression. What happened? Leon shows him the card. Remy reads it twice. Someone's warning you. Or setting up the next play. Leon sets it down. We arrested the obvious traitor, but this suggests there are more. Then we find them. Remy's voice steadies. Together. No more hiding, remember? Leon pulls him close. I don't want this life for you, for the pups, constant threats, always looking over your shoulder. I didn't marry your empire. I married you. Remy's hands frame Leon's face. The complicated, dangerous, beautiful disaster of you. And I choose it. Every day. Even after everything? Especially after everything. Remy's thumb traces Leon's jaw. Because I saw you choose patience over violence, justice over revenge, our family over your reputation. His voice drops. That's the alpha I fell in love with. Not the king, the father, the mate who kneels for his pups and listens to his housekeeper. Leon's chest tightens. I almost lost you. But you didn't. We survived. Remy presses their foreheads together. And now we're stronger, smarter, ready for whatever comes next. The card sits on the dresser, ominous and promising. Threats lurking in shadows, but this started when I came home early. Leon murmurs against Remy's lips. Next time. Remy smiles. Next time? They'll never see me coming. Outside, stars emerge from dissipating clouds. The storm has passed. But the war? The war is just beginning.